Good morning, everybody. This is Dani, the wicked awesome gardener, and today I am out here very early because I just let my chickens out for the morning, and I figured this would be a great time to introduce you to them. I'm also going to talk about a little bit of what I've learned in my first week as a chicken tender, which I think is the funniest term for someone who owns chickens, and I think I'm just going to use that for a while. But I have learned a few things, and so I figure I'll introduce you to the chickens and tell you about what I have learned. My first lady here is Rose, and Rose is a leghorn. And I initially did not want a leghorn because I've heard that they are very mean and very nasty, but she is actually the sweetest of my chickens, the one that is most easily caught, which is why she is the first one to be presented to you here. And she's like, hey, can you let me down already? I would like to go get some food. But her name is Rose, and I named her because, you know, White, Betty White, and she's very sweet. And of course Rose was just the sweetest of the Golden Girls, so this one is Rose. This gorgeous redhead here is Blanche, and she is definitely the largest of my chickens. She is also the oldest of my chickens and the only one so far to lay. And it was just the day that we got her, I think she just already had kind of one in the chamber. But we have a problem with Blanche, and that she is an egg eater. So she laid her egg, and it must have been very, very late in the day, right before I put them up in the coop, because the next morning she went straight under the coop, rolled out an egg, and ate it in about 5 seconds before I could do anything to intervene. She is the most flighty of them all and not happy with me holding her here, so I'm going to let her go. To try and break her of the egg eating, I have gotten a couple of ceramic eggs. I put them in the nesting box. I have had no eggs since then. I think they're just settling in, and she will probably start laying again soon. So I'm hoping, and if you see my camera moving, it's because Rose is now pecking at the tripod. She's a very inquisitive girl. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can break her of the egg eating with using that. And I've also heard to fill empty eggshells with mustard, but I've also heard some chickens seem to like the mustard, so I don't know if hopefully I won't have to go take that step. This girl is Sophia, and she is a speckled Sussex, and her sisters that my friend has, they all lay a sort of pinkish toned brown egg, so I'm really excited to see what that looks like. She's also, like the olive egger Blanche, she is also a bit flighty, and she's not really loving me holding her, but I'm trying to do it a little bit every day and just kind of calm them down. She did settle a little faster this time, but you hear she's being a little noisy, so I'm going to put her on down. And this gorgeous creature is my youngest, the Easter egger. This is Dorothy, and I love her because her plumage kind of looks like she's got the head of a golden eagle. She is the youngest of the crew, and she actually is one of the more inquisitive ones, even though she's a little nervous right now because, again, you know, she's not very used to me and I'm picking her up and all that. But she's like the second most interested in people behind Rose. She is very sweet. She's very sweet. So I think she's just got the most interesting plumage, and she is low woman on the totem pole right now. She is last in the pecking order. She does get picked on a little bit, but really only when they're around food and they're like, hey, my space. And once she moves over a few inches, they leave her alone. So nobody's like chasing her around the coop and really injuring her or anything like that. So it's just a little, hey, I outrank you. So that's the Golden Girls: Sophia, Blanche, Dorothy, and Rose. Those are my ladies, and once they really get to laying, they're going to have a very, very pretty basket of eggs. A white, a light, almost pinkish brown, an olive green, and the Easter egger I'm going to assume will be blue, something like that. Whatever shade it is, it's going to be a really pretty basket of eggs. Now, my intention when I said I'm going to get chickens was that I was going to have 3 to 4 chickens, and I had decided on 4. Then my friend Steph over at Parsley Farm, who brooded out these chicks for me, which was really, really great of her. So awesome. I'm just yay, I went over there to pick up the chickens, and her daughter Charlize showed me around like I was like her new best friend, and that was adorable. Steph had offered me a few different kinds of chickens to choose from, and with all the variety, I went for 6. She had really wanted me to have a leghorn. I initially, like I said, did not want to get a leghorn because I've heard that they can be really nasty, but she is very sweet and I like her a lot. She might be one of my favorites of the 4. So I had decided on 6. And so I'm like, oh, see, I said chicken math wasn't going to get me, and chicken math has gotten me. Well, my dad saved me from chicken math because he heard the number 6 and went, we are not having 6 chickens. 4 chickens is probably still too much. So I backed it off. I took home 4 because I was going to have a barred rock and another Easter egger. So in the end, I came home with 4 chickens, the leghorn, the olive egger, the Easter egger, and the speckled Sussex. So 4 chickens. I haven't really decided. I may still go back for that barred rock. I think I could fit 5 in here without it being too much. I think 6, once they grow up a bit, it would just be too crowded. They'd be too in each other's face. But I think 5 would be the limit on this coop, and they'd still be, you know, happy and healthy. And the run here is 7 by 8, and they have plenty of room to run around. So let me give you a quick look at my chicken setup, and we're going to talk about some of the things that I have learned. Here is my coop and chicken run. It is not finished yet. You can see how on the sides it's made with hardware cloth. Well, I want to continue that for the last couple of feet here, and then I will finish off the front with more hardware cloth and a door. This coop I got very, very cheap from Facebook Marketplace. It's got 3 nesting boxes in there, but I really just used that one for extra water at night, and there is an extra feeder in there as well as their grit. I've got the oyster shell kind of scattered all around the coop here. Here's one thing I learned very quickly is that chickens love to kick their food everywhere, and they kick dirt in their water all the time. So I have now suspended those up off the ground, and it's keeping the water much cleaner, and there is a lot less food waste going all over the ground. It's been very hot here, so I have a shade cloth up over the sunny part of the coop. So the ladies like to spend a lot of their time back there and under the coop, which is nice for them. The coop is mostly just on dirt, although there is kind of a rock here, like this big seam of rock that just goes up. So I haven't been able to dig some of these posts in very far, but they have dug up the dirt quite a bit over here and under the coop, so they've got some nice dust bath area there. I'm going to do a coop tour later on to show you all the things that annoy me about this coop. It definitely was not constructed with a lot of thought to function and design, but you know, for the moment it'll do what it needs to do, and I can upgrade as needed, but for now it's totally functional. I probably will just keep it until I do go and buy my own property, and then I will make a coop more to my specifications and needs and the things that I have learned. Something else I have learned in the last week is that chickens and their feed being out attract rats, and I put out 4 rat traps last night with some rancid peanut butter and chicken feed, and they enjoyed the feed and the peanut butter, but none of the traps actually caught any rats. So I'm going to be looking at some other strategies for that. To keep the rats out of this feed at night, I do have an S-hook up there in the coop, right up there. So at night I just take the food and water and hook them up on the S-hook, and that keeps the food out of reach of any little critter who might get in through my temporary barrier here and think that they're going to have an easy smorgasbord. Something else I realized that I didn't think would be the case is that chickens are surprisingly easy. They take almost no maintenance and no time during the day. I just come out, let them out, freshen up their water and their food, and then, you know, if I'm home, I might come check on them in the middle of the day. They're just all hanging out, being chickens. You know, I give them some treats, some black soldier fly larvae, throw in some more oyster shell, just, you know, in case it looks like it's getting a little bare. Yeah, and then I come and I shut them up at night, and that's it. Although I've realized that it is also frustratingly high maintenance to have to come out every morning and every night to get them in and out by certain times. It's not so much the morning because I'm getting up and I'm going to work anyway. And on the weekends, I like to sleep in, but I always wake up around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning anyway. So if I'm awake, I can get up, I can come out, I can do what I need to do for them, and then I can go back in and lay down, take a nap, whatever, you know, and have my lie-in. So that's not a problem for me. It's at night, and it's not so much that I have to come out and do it, it's that my schedule doesn't typically allow for it. I'm in 2 musicals right now. So I have rehearsals 4 days a week, and usually those are happening from late afternoon into late evening, so that like 6 to 10 o'clock time slot. Now, if I had a door on this chicken coop, it wouldn't be so much of a problem. My dad could walk out, open the door, close up the coop because the chickens go in automatically, which I didn't realize that I wouldn't have to train them to do that they just automatically do it. Another thing that I have learned. So that wouldn't be a problem. My dad would just come out. He's always home, so he could close them up. But until I get the door on here, and I've just got this temporary fence, you have to crawl in through like a little hobbit hole in the fence that I, you know, untwist the wire and I pull it open, then you gotta crawl in. And with his bad back, I'm just not letting him do that. So I've been running home after work and then putting them in the coop and then going off to rehearsal, but it's also been very hot. And I'm putting them in there early, and so it's not the best situation. It's not the happiest for everybody, and it means that I use so much more gas, and gas is not cheap right now. So I am definitely investing in an automatic chicken door. I did order one from Amazon. I did not get the $30 cheapie, but I didn't spend like $200 and get the like Run Chicken Primo one. But this one did have hundreds of excellent reviews, and while it wasn't the bargain basement one, it wasn't the high end either. So I'm going to try to install that myself today, and we're going to see how that goes. But I am definitely getting a chicken door. I'm moving over a bit because the shadow keeps moving with me, which is great because it gives them a lot of early morning shade. They can just come out and relax, and they seem to be very chilled out, just having a little drink of water, snacking in the back. It's all good. Another thing that surprised me is that aside from the couple that are a bit flighty, they're very, very sweet. Rose just loves to walk right up and be like, hey, how you doing? You got any treats? I reach down to pick her up and she's just like, okay. And she just loves to hang out, and she's my little buddy, which I thought was kind of funny. I have to keep changing my camera angle every few minutes because the sun's rising up so fast and it's changing the lighting, and it's just so ugh. But that's what I've learned in my first week as a chicken owner, and I'm sure that I'm going to learn a lot more. Like, chicken keeping is easy until it isn't, when they get sick or something like that, or you think that the coop that you made that's fairly, you know, Fort Knox is just not. So I'm going to be finishing this very soon. It's just, guys, it's been hot. It has been 90 to 100 degrees every single day for weeks, and no rain. We did get like a 1 hour thunderstorm that rolled through, and were it not for all the lightning, I think people would have been out dancing in it. I certainly felt like I wanted to. So we've had no rain. We are in a very severe drought. It's been weeks upon weeks upon weeks with no rain. I think that's going to break later this week. I think Wednesday, Thursday, we're supposed to get some rain, but I'm seeing that change from rain to scattered thunder showers, which has kind of been the teaser for the last month. So cross your fingers that we get a good rain, because this garden is suffering for it, because there's only so much watering that we can do. But back to the subject, that's what I've learned in this first week, and I am, of course, researching everything that I can on chickens. I have been watching many, many videos. Can I just tell you, Oak Abode, the Oak Abode channel is amazing and full of so much information. And I have just been binge watching all of their Chicken 101 videos, and what to do with chickens in winter, and what to do with food and what to watch for with diseases and things that you need to know about chickens. Like, they have a million videos, and they are definitely the go-to source for me right now as far as chicken videos and care videos. See, the sun is already changing. It's already changing. So I'm going to hurry this up. A humongous thank you to Parsley Farm, Steph at Parsley Farm on YouTube and on Instagram. She's not very active on YouTube these days. They've moved house a few times and are just getting really settled into their new home. So I'm hoping that she'll be making some more content and more videos. But the content that she does have there with her ducks and her stock tank, duck pond, and all of that is definitely worth watching. And she is very active on Instagram. You'll see a lot about chickens and turkeys and the ducks on there. So that's really awesome. You should definitely go check her out. I will link both her Instagram and her YouTube down in the video description. And before I forget, the reason why I'm thanking Steph is she is the one who brooded out these chicks for me with the other chicks that she got this year to supplement her flock. She said it was no trouble. She didn't even charge me for the birds. She was just amazing, amazing, amazing. And so because of her, I now have my ladies, my golden girls. Also, a humongous thank you to Lisa at Yogi Hollow Farm, who has kind of been my chicken mentor for the last couple of weeks. Between her and Steph, I have been given a wealth of information and encouragement. Lisa is currently in the middle of farrowing her first 2 sets of piglets. Her pigs, Fiona and Eleanor, are having their little piglets. Eleanor had hers a little over a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and then Fiona is due any minute now. I believe actually they might have been due yesterday or today, so go ahead and watch her channel because there is an imminent pig birth if it hasn't happened already, and I haven't been on YouTube since last night. So then again, she wasn't in my Aussie Garden and Kitchens live last night when I was, so maybe she was out attending to a farrowing. I don't know. I'm going to check in with her and see. But I'm also going to link Yogi Hollow Farm, Lisa, down in the video description. You should absolutely check out her channel out. She lives on a 2-acre homestead in South Dakota, and there's a lot of really great information there on having a small homestead. You know, you see a lot of homesteaders, they've got several acres. Some of them are on 1/3 of an acre, like Boots and Bounty, or 2 acres of pretty rocky, bouldery filled ground like Yogi Hollow, or you've got me, who is here on roughly 1/10 of an acre with chickens and a garden and all of that. So there's just so many situations out there, and you can definitely... What is that bird behind me? All right. This bird is intent on making some noise in my background here, so I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can install this chicken door on my own and get it to work. We'll see how that goes, but I will see you guys later when we grow some more wicked awesome food and eggs from yard to table. Bye-bye.